$1 million question I have is, how did you get the job with the Wiggles? Because I feel like it's, there's not many of them. There's only a handful. And I assume they're not applying for like they're not putting out job ads for new Wiggles all the time. So how did you actually get the role?
It's a long story. It's actually not a long story. It's interesting.
Time. No stress.
It's a whole bunch of, like, it's not a linear process. It didn't kind of just go, there was no audition. There was no calling card, or, when me and my wife got married in 2019, we bought a place in Gladesville, which was in the same neighborhood as Anthony, who's the founder of the Wiggles. Okay, so that's the first part. Before that, I was in Justice Crew for 10 years, and we met the Wiggles through different events like the Carols and Domain, Australia Day events, and we kind of, the Arias, and we kind of, I spoke to Anthony here and there. And fast forward to 2019, we're having dinner one night at Da Toto, which is an Italian restaurant in Gladesville. And Anthony was down the road, so he kind of goes there too. So I kind of got to talking to him. After I bumped into him that night, we kind of started speaking. I kind of reached out, and I was actually a personal trainer at the time. After Justice Crew, I started doing a bit of PT. I actually reached out to Anthony. I was thinking, how cool would it be to train the Blue Wiggle? So I just reach out. Jess is saying, just send him a message. He's down the road. He could be, how cool would it be to have a client that's a Wiggle? So I reached out, sent him a message on Instagram. I said, hey, Anthony, if you ever need a training partner one day,
I'm your guy.
Let me know. I'm here. I'm up the road.
I'm your guy.
Yeah, exactly. Being a Wiggle wasn't even on my mind. I wasn't even thinking.
Wow.
Like, I wanted to be a performer. This is my way into the Wiggles. It wasn't that at all. I just thought, I love fitness. I love to help people. This is how cool. What a cool way to be able to help Anthony. He was already fit back in the day, and I thought, what a cool way to connect.
Yeah.
That was kind of the start of the conversations, and I think from that moment, Anthony kind of popped up everywhere. I started seeing him everywhere. And that's when I think the power of the universe kind of brings people together.
It all aligned.
On purpose. Yeah, I just remember driving somewhere in Eastwood to one of my clients, and Anthony would just be in front of me in traffic, and then I'd kind of beep the horn and be like, hey, Johnny, or whatever. And then I'd be driving in the city one night, 10 o'clock at night, coming home from dinner with Jess, and Anthony would pull up accidentally on the other side of the road, waving outside again. So it was just a whole bunch of those moments. And I think from one of the nights, I was actually applying to be in the firefighters, to be a fiery.
I think I remember this.
Yeah, so I really wanted to be a fiery, and I thought, I could still do my PTing, I could still be a fiery. Justice Crew slowed down a little bit, so I had time. It gave me that work-life balance. And I was actually the third year in a row that I didn't get in. Boo, I don't know why.
Was because something better was lined up for you?
Yeah, you know what? I think that night I found out I didn't get in. Jess told me, I think there's something bigger for you. Like, there's something just there's a barrier here for some reason. And that same night is when I saw Anthony pull up next to me in the city with his window down and goes, hey, Johnny. And he kind of was like, he was like, oh, I'll send you a message. And it was doing this, which means filming something. So we kind of looked at each other like, what does that mean? What's he trying to say? But it was just a coincidence that night. It was like a turning point for me. It's like I kind of felt, I really want to be a firefighter next year again. But yeah, at the same time, the universe kind of kept pushing me and Anthony together. So there was something there. So that's kind of the start of it.
And then he sends you a message one day. Is that how it happens?
So it was a few weeks later. He sent me a message on Instagram, and he said, hey, Johnny, we're working on a pilot TV series produced by the Wiggles. You came to mind, and I thought, did you want to come down and check out the studios and we can chat about it? So I said, this is awesome. Maybe that's what he was talking about with the filming. So he gave me the address. I went down to Wiggles HQ. Anthony showed me around. He showed me the offices, and he said, this show, it's going to be produced by the Wiggles, but Wiggles won't be in it. Would you be keen? I said, of course. I'm always open to opportunities. I'm not going to not do it. I'm in a position to try new things as well. And Anthony's, the founder of the Wiggles. He was my childhood, so this was awesome. So we did this. We filmed the series. It kind of went quiet for a few months, and we kind of kept in contact through social media. Then there was one day, I think it was February 2021. I remember the exact date because it's such a monumental part of my life. He sent me a message and said, hey, Johnny, I've got some news. You want to catch up for coffee? And I thought, how cool. Like, this show's going to go ahead or whatever this is. So we go back to the pizza shop in Gladesville.
Da Toto, where it all started.
Yeah, Da Toto. He was waiting there. He had a real serious look on his face. Like, if you ever meet Anthony, he's such a vibrant guy. He's so fun. He was kind of serious, and he was saying, who was scrolling on his phone. He said, look, can you just read through this? It's a few slides and just digest it and just let me know what you think. I said, okay, what is this? I'm going through the phone. He showed me the phone. I'm going through. And then so the slides were, the history of the Wiggles, who were the skivvies, the meaning of the skivvies, and what it means to, perform and a whole bunch of stuff like that. And I was thinking, where's this show that we worked on? Like, why am I reading this? And then it kind of went through the Wiggles being diverse and kind of expanding. And then at the last slide, there was 4 new people, and one of those people was me. I was like, hold on. I was like, what is this? And he was like, if you were to join the Wiggles as a second purple Wiggle, would you do it? And I thought, it was, for me, like, I felt a bit nervous because I didn't know what to expect. I thought, as much as a dream to become a Wiggle, I thought, one, I didn't think I was good enough. But at the same time, I was like, this is an opportunity that doesn't come up every day. So I said yes. And I went home and I was just like, he was like, okay, he's going to head off. So I just walked home and I was just like, what did he ask me? I kind of didn't remember what he asked me. Then I called Jess and I said, I think he asked me to join the Wiggles. And then she was like, what do you mean? We didn't really process what just happened.
Yeah.
So we kind of left it for a bit and then it went quiet for a while, like a few weeks. And I was like, did he actually ask me? Then I kind of forgot what he asked me because it was kind of like so bizarre and so random. I couldn't even plan, and then he kind of reached out again and then we filmed the first episode of Fruit Salad TV and that's when I got my purple skivvy and everything happened from there.
That is so crazy, like how it all aligned. And from hearing how, I think so many people experience this where they're really set on a path. Like, for example, you being a firefighter and you think it's something you really want. It just seems for whatever reason to not be happening.
Yep.
And then you let time play out and something bigger and better or more aligned comes your way. It's so nice to hear your story. Steve Jobs has this really nice saying, you can never connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking back.
Love it, yeah.
So now when you reflect on your journey, it makes sense why these things happen.
Exactly.
And so for people listening now that are in that frustrating moment where, something that they really want is not working out, it's not coming in the time they want, it's just nice to hear stories like yours to remind us that, it happens in its own time and the way it's supposed to.